Hi, my name is Sabrina Kizzie from socialmediaglamour.com, Sabrina on the Move, and I have the unique pleasure of having Katie from Twitter's research team here with me today, and I'm going to interview her and get her thoughts and her opinions on best practices for Twitter and Periscope. So Katie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, my pleasure.
So you work at Twitter. Can you tell us a little bit about your day and actually what you do there?
Sure. So I work on the agency research team. I have the wonderful opportunity to work on something different every single day. So no 2 days are alike for me, which is great. My team specifically, we're actually a small but mighty team of 2. We service all of our agency clients, and specifically we brainstorm and come up with unique research executions that will help them help their clients who are advertisers on our platform. And it's a global role, which is really exciting because that means we get to partner with agencies and teams across the world.
Wow, that sounds fabulous. It sounds really exciting.
It is, yeah. I really like it. I like to sort of put on my detective hat, and a lot of it is understanding consumer behavior, why people do what they do, and then using that information to help advertisers.
How did you get to work for a company like Twitter? Like, what is your background? What drew you? I mean, of course, Twitter is a fabulous company. It's well known. But what was your attraction to working for that type of company and doing the type of work you do in terms of research?
Sure. So I consider myself pretty lucky to have sort of fallen into the world of social media. My first job out of school was working to build up the social media team for a creative agency called JWT, and specifically for the Marine Corps client. And obviously with social media being a brand new thing, and the Marine Corps being the Marine Corps, they wanted to prove out the return on their investment. So I started dabbling in social media analytics, and at the time that really didn't exist. So I was building out a suite of analytics for them to measure their success on the platforms. That led to a series of opportunities across creative and media agencies where I was doing sort of a hybrid role of strategy and analytics and research, always with sort of a social media spin. And because I love working and I'm really passionate about the space, I also did a lot of freelance work, which ultimately led to an opportunity for the Grammy Awards, which was incredible, where I got to do all of their social media analytics. A lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights. That was a really great, 48 hours every year where I was doing that for 3 years. And then finally I landed where I think I probably belonged on the social media side with Twitter. So yeah, it's just been kind of a weird and crazy path, but really happy to have landed where I did.
Wow, that's fabulous. For my students, I teach social media marketing and interactive marketing. What skill set do people need to know in terms of getting involved with social media? People say, well, I know how to post on my Facebook account. Mm-hmm. What else do they need besides those type of skills, just, being able to post and whatnot?
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, it's really important to be involved on every single social media platform because there's a lot of innovation, and the pace of it is absolutely breathtaking. Twitter alone, I think, had 13 product announcements just yesterday. So things are changing at a pace that is almost unbelievable. So you really have to want to know the space and to really thoroughly immerse yourself in it. So you're staying ahead of trends and able to identify opportunities for yourself and maybe whoever you're working for. So that's number one. Number two is always putting on your business hat. So you might be able to post in your personal accounts, but you need to, if you're representing a brand or a company, be able to post in their voice. And when it comes down to social media management, that is a whole world that is much trickier and much more difficult than I think some people might imagine. There are people whose entire job is managing social media communities. It's certainly doable, but it is just, it is truly a full-time job. And setting up community guidelines so that people understand what are the rules of the road. So if there's an inappropriate post and it gets removed, they don't stand up and revolt. They understand that they violated guidelines and that's why it's been removed. And it also helps to set up expectations. If you're a brand and you're responding to posts, you should respond to all posts, not some of them. So it's really getting to know your community and your community's voice, and then it opens up a world of opportunities.
Wow, thank you so much. So in terms of the average individual or client using Twitter, are there some recommendations or best practices for using Twitter?
Yeah, so we actually have a whole research team dedicated to different industry verticals, and they publish a ton of information about what different types of organizations and categories of business should be doing on Twitter to best service their customers. So it really, tough answer, but what it really boils down to is that the answer is really unique. So you can imagine that an advertiser trying to sell detergent would have to do something completely different than somebody trying to sell, Doritos.